This simple tip will save you from engine overheating. Picture this. You're driving on a blistering hot day, you're stuck in traffic, and then, it happens. A huge cloud of white steam billows from under your hood, the temperature gauge needle slams into the red, and a nasty burning smell fills the car. Just like that, you're stranded on the shoulder, looking at what could be a disastrous, and seriously expensive, engine failure. Here's the crazy part. This entire nightmare is often caused by the failure of just two simple, cheap components. The good news? You can stop it from ever happening. What I'm about to show you is one basic check most people completely forget, and a lesser-known trick that even some mechanics don't talk about. Getting these two things right is the key to protecting your engine from overheating and saving yourself thousands in repairs. Forget complicated tools, we're getting back to basics that actually work. Section 1. The foundation of a cool engine, the simple, forgotten check. Before we get to the secret trick, we have to start at square one, the absolute foundation of your car's cooling system. It's a check that's so simple, it's almost too easy to forget about. I'm talking about your coolant. Your engine's coolant, or antifreeze, is the lifeblood of its cooling system. Just like blood circulates to keep your body from overheating, coolant runs through channels in your engine, soaks up all that intense heat, and carries it to the radiator to get cooled down. Without enough of this fluid, the system can't do its job, and engine temperatures can spike in a matter of minutes. So, here is the most important check you can do. And this is serious. Never do this on a hot engine. The cooling system is under high pressure, and if you open it when it's hot, it can blast scalding steam and coolant everywhere, causing severe burns. Always wait for the engine to cool down completely. The best time is in the morning before you've driven anywhere. Once it's cool, pop the hood and find the coolant reservoir. It's that semi-see-through plastic tank with a small hose connecting it to the radiator. You'll see two lines on the side, min are low and max are full. You want the coolant level to be floating right between those two marks. If it's below the minimum line, you've found a huge problem just waiting to happen. Low coolant is one of the top reasons a car overheats. But the level is only half the battle. The quality of your coolant is just as important. Fresh coolant has a bright, vibrant color, like green, orange, pink, or blue. Over time, it breaks down and can turn into a murky, rusty brown sludge filled with gunk. That old, gross coolant doesn't transfer heat well and can actually cause rust and clogs in your radiator and engine. If you look in the tank and see something that looks like muddy water, you are long overdue for a cooling system flush. If you just need to top it off, make sure you use the exact type of coolant your owner's manual recommends. Using the wrong kind can cause a chemical reaction that turns your coolant into a thick gel, creating blockages that are a total pain to fix. Coolant is sold in two ways: concentrated, which you have to mix 50-50 with distilled water, or pre-mixed and ready to pour. Don't just add straight water unless it's a true emergency to get to a safe spot. Water alone can cause corrosion and it boils at a much lower temperature. And if you notice you're adding coolant all the time, you definitely have a leak. Look for puddles under your car, crusty colored residue around the hoses, or a weirdly sweet smell after you've been driving. Those are all dead giveaways that your system is losing fluid and needs a trip to the mechanic. Section 2. The lesser-known trick: it's all about pressure. Okay, so your coolant level is good and the fluid looks clean. You're in the clear, right? Not so fast. This brings us to the insider trick, the part that separates people who think their cooling system is fine from those who know it is. The secret isn't just about the fluid, it's about pressure. And that pressure is controlled by one tiny, often ignored part: the radiator cap. Most people think the radiator cap is just a lid, but it's not. It's a precisely engineered pressure valve, and it's absolutely vital for preventing your engine from boiling over. Here's why. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. but when you put it under pressure, that boiling point goes way up. By holding around 13 to 16 psi of pressure in the cooling system, the radiator cap raises your coolant's boiling point to over 250 degrees Fahrenheit, 121 degrees Celsius. When a radiator cap goes bad, it can't hold that pressure anymore. This means your coolant can start to boil at a much lower temperature, creating steam and air pockets. These air pockets are assassins for your cooling system. Air is terrible at transferring heat, so if an air pocket gets stuck in the engine, it can create a localized hot spot that can warp metal and blow a head gasket, even if your temperature gauge doesn't immediately fly into the red. A bad cap can be the secret reason you're overheating, even with a full tank of coolant. Checking the cap is easy. Again, only do this when the engine is completely cool. Push down on the cap and give it a quarter turn to the first stop. This releases any leftover pressure. Then, push down again and turn it the rest of the way to take it off. Look at the bottom. You should see 2 rubber seals. Check them for cracks, hardness, or tears. Squeeze the big spring. It should feel strong and push back firmly. If the seals look shot or the spring feels weak, just replace the cap. It's an incredibly cheap part, usually less than $20. That can save you from a multi-thousand-dollar engine repair. Other signs of a bad cap include coolant leaking from around the cap, a constantly overflowing reservoir tank, or radiator hoses that look sucked in and collapsed when the engine is cool. This also relates to another hidden issue: air getting trapped in the system, usually after a coolant change. If your car suddenly starts overheating right after a service, there's probably an airlock. Bleeding the system gets those air pockets out. An easy way to do this is to park your car with the nose pointed uphill, turn the heater on full blast. This opens up the heater core, and let the engine run. As it warms up, you'll see bubbles burp out of the radiator or into the reservoir, which is exactly what you want. Section 3. Bonus Pro Tips Fortifying Your Cooling System. Checking your coolant and radiator cap are the heavy hitters, but if you really want to bulletproof your engine against overheating, here are a few more pro tips. First, don't sleep on your engine oil. Oil does a lot more than just lubricate. It's responsible for pulling a ton of heat away from the engine's internal parts. If your oil level is low or the oil is old and broken down, you get more friction, which creates more heat that the cooling system has to deal with. So, staying on top of your oil changes is an easy win for keeping your engine cool. Second, keep your radiator clean, inside and out. The front of your radiator is constantly getting blasted with bugs, leaves, and road grime. This stuff can block the delicate fins and choke off airflow, making it way less effective at releasing heat. Every so often, you can take a hose and gently spray water from the back of the radiator forward to knock that junk loose. Third, listen for your cooling fans. In most modern cars, electric fans pull air through the radiator, especially when you're stopped or in slow traffic. If you're idling on a hot day and you see the temperature start to creep up, but it goes back down as soon as you start moving, that's a classic sign your fans aren't kicking on. You can usually hear them. It's a loud whirring sound. If you never hear them, it's time to get them checked out. Section 4. The emergency plan: what to do if you're already overheating. So what if it's too late, and you're already on the side of the road with steam pouring out? What you do in the next few minutes can be the difference between a simple fix and a new engine. 1. Turn the heat on full blast. This sounds completely insane, but it's a critical first step. Your car's heater works by pulling heat from the engine coolant to warm up the inside of the car. By cranking the heat, you're basically using it as a mini radiator to pull extra heat away from the engine. It might just be enough to lower the temperature and get you off the highway. 2. Pull over and shut it down. If the temperature gauge doesn't drop, or if it keeps climbing, don't risk it. Find a safe place to pull over and turn the engine off immediately. Driving an overheating engine can cause it to seize, potentially cracking the engine block or warping major components. 3. Do not open the hood right away. Just wait. A steaming, pressurized system is incredibly dangerous. Let the engine cool for at least 30 minutes, or until the temperature gauge is back in the normal range. If you try to open the radiator cap too soon, you could get a face full of scalding steam. 4. Assess and add coolant, if possible. Once it's cool to the touch, you can safely open the hood. If the coolant reservoir is obviously low, you can add more. If you have the right kind of coolant, great. If it's an emergency, plain water will work to get you to a shop. Just never, ever pour cold water into a hot engine. The extreme temperature shock can crack the engine block. 5. Get professional help. An overheating engine is always a symptom of a bigger problem. Even if adding more coolant seems to fix it, you have to figure out why it was low. Get your car to a mechanic to have the system checked for leaks or bad parts. Conclusion C? Preventing a total engine meltdown doesn't take a master mechanic. It really just comes down to two things: making sure you have enough clean coolant, and making sure your system can hold pressure with a good radiator cap. By spending just 5 minutes a month checking your coolant and giving your radiator cap a quick look, you're putting up a powerful defense against your engine's worst enemy. These simple checks put the power back in your hands and will keep you driving safely. If this guide helped you out and you want more no-nonsense tips that will save you real money, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.